Alright, so I thought I'd make a quick video showing off some of the indicators I've been working on for NinjaTrader. So I guess the first one I'll show you is, this is more of a chart type. So obviously you've got all these charts here, and one of the ones I quite like is equivolume. But the trouble I have with this is that you can see the bars get very thin on small volume, and I think that's a bit hard to see, at least for me. So I just made a small modification to that so that it's based on opacity instead of bar size. So you can see that this bar here is quite a high volume bar. This is volume at the bottom, by the way. And so that one's colored in higher opacity. So pretty simple chart type, but I like this a lot. So moving on to volume. So this is a volume indicator. So basically all I've done is I've taken a moving average of the volume, applied standard deviations to it, and then just colored it based on that, right? So normal volume is in this color, this gray kind of color. One standard deviation is in this yellow kind of color, 2 standard deviations orange, and then 3 standard deviations red. And I think if you're trading like very fast time frames, it's quite useful to just have a very visual representation of that. So so that's my volume indicator. And then finally we've got well, I've also got these bar overlays, but that's a pretty simple thing. Like that's pretty standard. But yeah, we've got cumulative delta here, which I like a lot. I've been using it a lot recently and leaning on the signals from it. So one thing I wanted to see with cumulative delta is that sometimes you have like a very big bar like this, and obviously you have a very big delta as well, but what I wanted to see is how big is the bar relative to delta. So you see this bar here, it's got higher opacity, so it's a deeper red than the previous bar. And the reason for that is that this one's actually a green close, but you've still got bearish delta. So what I'm doing is I'm scaling. Again, I'm taking like a moving average and doing a z-score on that. And if we have a high z-score, then we put it maximum opacity. If it's the opposite color, I also give it maximum opacity, and you can also change the color if it's flipped. So if it's green here and then red here, you can do a different color, but normally I just keep it on the same color. So this can be quite useful to see absorption and that sort of stuff, right? So if you've got a fast move coming down like this, and then you've got like a deeper red here, it's somewhat of a signal of absorption. So so yeah, it's nothing too complicated, but a couple of small changes to these volume indicators I think is pretty useful for me. I like it a lot. A couple more things I wanted to show. I have been modifying the DOM a little bit. I think the DOM columns are a bit harder for me to program at the moment. I'm not really as confident with doing that, but I have done a couple of things. So I modified this time and sales column here. So it just looks slightly different visually. I just used someone else's time and sales to modify that. So what I've got personally is higher volume blocks on the left here, and then you've got very small ones here, which don't even show the time. You can just see that kind of trailing in. So I find this to be a bit more useful. And then we've got the DOM. I don't look at the DOM too much personally because I'm trading NQ more recently, and for me the DOM just moves too quickly on NQ to really track it too much. But there's a couple of things I've got here. So I've got a text column, and you can write in whatever you wanna put here. So if I want to put inverse level, I've also got it set to change the color depending on what I put in. So if I've got something that's a value high, then it goes pink because that's the color scheme I use. So you can keep track of stuff on the DOM like that. That's pretty interesting, I think. this one here is like a little visual representation of the candle. So this is the 5-second chart. It's relating to NQ, I presume. But like I said, I don't normally have the DOM up, so I don't remember if this is actually relating to NQ or not, because you have to do a little funny business behind the scenes and like have an indicator that then feeds information to the DOM. But this is useful if you're trying to see where we are in relation to the previous candle. So that's all that is. Most of this DOM, by the way, is someone else's DOM that I paid for, and I've just added stuff on top of it. So the whole DOM is not mine. I do think I eventually want to make my own DOM and do the whole thing myself, but I'm not quite sure how to do that just yet. And I think one other thing I did is I made a small modification to the pulling and stacking so that it's centered now and it's a different color, but this is not too useful on NQ anyway. So yeah, I did want to do something with the inside print, because right now it's just clearing every 10 seconds or whatever it is. I don't know exactly. But I think you can do something with this to show a bit more absorption and that sort of stuff. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with it, but I do think that there's some options with that. And we could have quite an interesting column here if I can figure it all out. But yeah, that's just a few things I've been working on. Most of my trading has been leaning on volume and delta and that sort of stuff. So yeah, just made a couple of indicators. Just wanted to show them off. That's all. Peace.